What's up, everyone? Today we're going to be working on the rear end. Now, the overall goal is to get this thing finished as far as prepping and cleaned and washed down with a general detergent. I'm going to try using Simple Green and then finish the clean with some isopropanol. However, if that doesn't work, we can always go to the ZEP. The real goal is to make sure that there is no grease anywhere left in the entire thing. I want this thing completely stripped, and we'll put some new, what do you call it? White lithium grease in for the time being while we wait for this thing to be rebuilt, because unfortunately I did the counting on the ring gear and the pinion, and that gives us a 256-to-1 ratio, which means this can go real fast. It'll just take forever to get there. So we are going to upgrade that. That's an absolute must. And eventually I would like to upgrade the entire rear end to a 12 bolt, but we have to kind of pick our battles. We're going to keep these axles as they are for now, upgrade the pinion gear and the ring gear to be able to handle something closer. I would really like 410s. That would be really, to me, you'll get there real quick. And with the long gear on the number 5 in the transmission, we will have a highway gear. So I think 410s would be absolutely what we're looking for. It'll be nasty. We'll get there real quick in that. This, it's like a caddy gear, which actually makes me really worried. Not worried, I suppose, just it really makes me think, was this actually ever a stage 1? Because why would they put such a ratio in the back end that this, I mean, hey, you never know. I like I've said when I first started out, this is actually my first muscle car, and I'm used to working on totally different cars, and I've always dreamt about working on a muscle car. Just they were always out of my reach. There was always that unobtainable sense to them. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead. We also have one of my old carboy from when I brew beer and stuff. That's what I used to use to clean the carboys. I have a new one now, so we'll use that to clean the tubes. We'll scrub the entire thing, like I said, with a general detergent. If that doesn't work, we'll step up to a ZEP, but I'm hoping that just some Simple Green, wipe it down, pull it apart, then wipe it down, and paint it. We'll have to replace the seals, and we're going to just keep it as it is for the time being. And oh yeah, of course, paint it. That's the goal today, will be to lay the paint on it and let it cure, and then we can reassemble it with that for now, but we will replace those. So without any more talking, let's go ahead, clean up around it, and then start tearing it back apart. Whew. That carrier gave me a heck of a fight getting out of there. But the bearing places look great. It seemed like everything was well oiled. The bearings themselves should be replaced, so I'll bring the carrier down to a guy that I know that can take the old bearings off and press new ones on. We'll reassemble this when we get the new pinion gear and ring gear. It shouldn't be too long. They're not that expensive. So the only other thing is I want to make sure that we give this thing as much of a chance to survive as we can, but I do want to make sure we have a very aggressive gear set so that we're not putting all this power to waste. So other than that, it's just general cleaning now, and I need to vacuum all this up. The babies were asleep, and I did not want to wake them up with the shop vac. So they are now awake, and that means we can go ahead and knock this out. So I don't know if this says anything on here. Yeah, 16. Okay. So all I did was I put a little bit of that paint stuff on there so I could count it as it spun. But now I can actually see, because the carrier's out of the way, I can count. Yay! Anyways, guys, let's go ahead, take this pinion out, and keep moving forward with getting it clean. Well, while I was looking for the socket, that's the word, the socket to remove the pinion gear, I found 4 cans of non-flammable brake parts cleaner. I'm like, hot diggity damn. So we're going to use a little bit of this to start cleaning this. And as you can see, I have it at a nice, easy working level, although I don't think it'll go anywhere. I'm still not going to go underneath it. So yeah, because I don't want that falling on me. But I don't think it'll go anywhere. So anyways, let's go ahead and get this thing cleaned up. Once it's all cleaned up, we will get some paint on it, and this will look fantastic. All right, one big complaint I have about quarantine. No barbers open, which means my hair is going crazy. I really wish I took the time and got my hair cut beforehand. But, you know, c'est la vie. I don't know, was that French or whatever? But anyways, can't look back at it now. Anyways, I got some self-etching primer made by Rust-Oleum, and it's meant for high heat. And we are going to go ahead and we're going to spray the all the little edges and stuff, like spots where you're not going to be able to just go to like straight on, so that you get nice even coverage. The other thing is obviously still hanging, hasn't fallen down. I've tape over where the hubs go, as to not get any additional layers on that, because I don't want to have to fight to get the new wheel brakes, pads, rotors, and all that fun stuff. I don't want to have to fight to put them back on. So we make sure that those are nice and clean, but we then tape them up anyways. We have the housing cover back on, and she's pretty much ready for paint. I have the oil filler hole plugged up. So nothing else to do. Is it nothing left to do but to do? I don't know. Bad at those things. Anyways, so like I said, you're gonna want to just hit it. Don't make sure the nozzle's facing the right direction. I almost sprayed myself. You're gonna want to hit it in all these crevices, and once you get all the crevices sprayed, go ahead and then just paint the rest of it. So I'm gonna put you guys on time lapse while I do this, and also put my respirator on. All right. All right, I need to change the battery in the camera so I don't lose you guys. Also, we need to give this a few minutes to start to actually cure a little bit before we start laying the next coat on. But the key is a nice even, I know it's kind of like all over the place, but trying to get all the, like I'm like having kung fu fighting here. No, trying to get all the intricacies, whatever. Trying to get all the nooks and crannies, that's the word. And make sure that it's all gonna come out really, really nice. You want to start out really, really thin first, and then as you move forward, make it a little bit thicker and thicker and thicker until you get the desired result. Now, this paint, I believe, dries to the touch in 2 hours. So once it's all nice and dried, I'm going to let it sit for probably on here for probably the next 6 hours, and then I'll take it off and I'll carry it over to where it's going to go, and we'll reassemble it with all the current pieces with it over there. I was trying to think for a second. There's the pinion gears and stuff like that. You know what? I'll probably just order the pinion gears and stuff like that before I start throwing it together, because I think it's like 140 bucks. I'm not 100% positive. It's like 140 bucks, something I can swing. We'll order the pinion gears so we can throw it all together appropriately. The next thing I also want to do is clean the shaft on the 2 drive shafts, so that when it's reassembled, all the effort of cleaning the inside of this doesn't go to waste. So we'll let this sit for probably the next 20 minutes so it's nice and evenly dry, and then we'll throw the next coat on. Well, guys, we got to make the best of what we're being dealt here. And if you're all stuck at home like I am, it's a perfect time to get as much of the tedious stuff out of the way. And I got to say, this was a lot of work to clean up, but the result speaks for itself. It is beautiful. And I know that it's not going to stay this glossy. And I have a problem with this particular paint, and I didn't realize that Rust-Oleum used these on their premium automotive paint. Realistically, I really prefer those kind of nozzles, so you don't get like a spotlight when you're spraying. You get more of a line. So I'm very disappointed with Rust-Oleum still using these kind of nozzles on their premium paints, because it's It's not a really good time. It's like a fire hose. So you don't really get the kind of coverage I'm used to where it's more like a line. It's more like I said, a fire hose. But the results are awesome. These are, you know, you really got to focus on the primer and the work before the primer, the cleaning. You know, it was a lot more work than I was expecting to get this thing clean, but it's done, it's over with, and we're going to be stuck with this rear end for a while. So eventually I'd like to get to 12. We're stuck with the 10. We're going to upgrade to a 10-tooth pinion. We'll have to get the kit because it only comes with pinion and ring gear. So we'll have to take those off, switch it out, get new bearings for it and all that stuff. Get this thing so it can actually go down a quarter mile in, you know, a reasonable amount of time. Not like granny gears. So I know a lot of people don't like 410s because you'll really run through that gear really quickly. But with the transmission we're putting in, with the 5th speed basically being more of a highway gear, I think we're going to be okay. So if we go with the 410, get something really aggressive for the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th gears, I think we're going to have a lot better of a time. But boy, I got to say, I'm very happy with how this turned out. And someone made a comment that I got to stop saying keep it shiny side up, because the only side that's going to be shiny on this car is going to be the bottom. Someday the whole thing will be shiny. But yeah, we don't want that side pointing up. We want the top pointing up. So basically, like I said, we're going to let this cure. Once it cures, we'll move it out of the way somewhere until we can get it all back together. And hopefully that won't be too far away. The other thing is I'm going to start cleaning the actual engine itself. Save ourselves around $250 from bead blasting, because we're going to make the best of this situation and do all the stuff that would have been too tedious or too time consuming that would have really held the project up. But I have a lot of time on my hand these days. Why not do the hard stuff? Get it cleaned up, save ourselves the money. Obviously, we're doing a great job getting these things painted. We have the transmission all set. Now we have the rear end painted. Why not? Let's just get it done. And eventually, once we get this all sorted out, start welding in, I need to get argon gas. That's a big concern at this point. The welder, I got some parts. We might be able to get this thing to hold argon gas. If we can, then great, we can use that. It's only a 110 welder. I'd rather do a 240, but let's use this very unfortunate time to be able to, I guess, make the best of what we've been dealt. And get out, work on your car, start doing the tedious stuff that you wouldn't have been able to do otherwise. That's all I have for you guys today. I hope you guys are keeping it healthy, keeping it safe, and staying out of trouble. That's all we can do these days. And until next time. Oh, and if you haven't already, head over to Facebook's group, LunarOutlaw's Garage Automotive Enthusiasts. If you just type that in, or just type in Lunar Outlaw's Garage underneath groups, join the conversation. I would love to have you there. Love to see the projects you're working on. Anyways, until next time, keep it shiny side up. Take care, guys.